What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review and sort of like an unboxing of the new Synapse Blu Ray of The Kindred. That's right, it's a 1987 creature feature. I'm going to tell you all about it. So yeah, when I was a kid, this cover haunted me on the VHS or beta racks back in the day. It was always one of those ones that I saw and just kind of like etched into my brain. You know, back when we were treated with such things where we didn't know what the movies were about because we didn't have the internet, and we just had to trust the picture on the front and maybe the description on the back and some pictures on the back. Mostly I just looked at the pictures and just kind of went for it, though, you know, as we all did pretty much. But yeah, this is a sci-fi horror creature feature that was done in 87 with a lot of practical effects. It just recently came out on the 25th of October. An excellent addition to the Synapse films. They just put this one together, and it's a brand new, all new 4K transfer that they did to Blu-ray. It looks really stunning. It looks really good in Blu-ray. Like, I think I watched this on VHS when I was like a kid, or I saw it on the channels back in the day. But yeah, this is a movie that I think that some people will enjoy, some people won't. Some people who are 80s fans specifically are going to love this film because it is a lot of practical effects in this movie. There are a lot of really crazy creature designs in this movie. Tentacles, Lovecraft fans, all of you guys are going to love this type of shit. I'll get into that more later. I just want to show you what we got here. Now, this is the original cover art, so there is no flip design on this. They didn't pay to do it. Inside, you get the disc, of course, which is right here, and this is the older product catalog from 2022. They have the 2023 one and the other disc that I got. MVD Entertainment sent this out to me, and you can actually pick it up there. Here's some of the special features that are included with this disc. You get the new 5.1 English stereo surround mix and the original 2.0 mono theatrical mix that is included. We got audio commentary with directors Jeffrey Obro and Stephen Carpenter. They're not new to the horror scene. They did The Power and they did The Dorm That Dripped Blood before that. And they even went on to do Soul Survivors, which is like a modern take in the, you know, that era of like, I Know What You Did Last Summer type stuff, but it was a little bit of a twisty film. Also, something really interesting that you may not know, one of the writers is actually the original writer for Psycho and did other Psycho movies, but Joseph Stefano was one of the writers on this movie. There was about 5 writers, mostly the directors, Stephen and Jeffrey Obro, kind of supervised it. They had kind of a rough draft of it, and then John Penny and Earl Gaffery and Joseph Stefano got to town on this story. So they actually have, like, you know, some pretty in-depth stuff here. This is not just a run-of-the-mill story. In some regards, it is like the story of this science gone bad kind of thing, but then they also add all these other different side stories that are going on in the movie. Nothing wholly too original, but there definitely is more of a plot in this movie than most horror movies would have at the time. They also have Inhuman Experiments, which is the making of The Kindred. It's like a 52-minute documentary that was really in-depth. There's also a special compilation of creature effects artist Michael McCracken Jr.'s never-before-seen on-set footage, which is about 18 minutes. And they show how they do some of the creature effects, which is really awesome. The still gallery, original storyboards, you got the original theatrical trailer, original video promotional trailer, TV spots, and they have the optional English subtitles for the deaf and the hard of hearing. So here you go. This is packed full of stuff in here in this disc. It was really nice to really rewatch this. Again, I barely remembered anything of it. I actually really kind of like it. It's not the perfect film. It's not going to be like the best 80s gem that you've ever seen, but it is definitely a forgotten one in some regards that people may have not 100% remembered like me, but would love to watch again because they love practical effects, because some of the tentacle stuff that they do in here, the scientific angle that they got on here. Essentially, the story of this is that there's a house, this guy's mother is a scientist, and she did a bunch of experiments on some stuff. She was experimenting with fish and like human flesh, and somehow made it a hybrid sort of thing going on there. And she passes away suddenly, and the son, who's also a doctor, has to go back to the house to basically sell everything, and she tells him that she needs to end something, the experiment needs to end or something like that, and he goes back to the house and a bunch of crazy stuff starts happening. There's a lot of different angles going on here. There's like, you know, some shadow corporation type thing going on behind the scenes. There's some double agent type stuff in here, love stories, you know, there's a lot of different stuff. A lot of the 80s is packed into this movie. There is some, you know, dry spots in the movie that are a little bit dialogue heavy, and I feel like it could have been trimmed down just a little bit just to make it flow a little bit better. But things do happen in little nuggets across the movie that you will enjoy, including like some really awesome, never before seen type practical effects that I've never seen done before. I thought were really fantastic, and you know, they're not, it's like this movie is not like the biggest movie in the world, but man, did it have all the right things when it came to some of this practical effects. The movie did make about $2.4 million at the box office, and a lot of people consider this to be one of the last great practical effects movies of the 80s. But I love the 80s for practical effects in general. It definitely carried on because we got the Blob 1988, but it is definitely up there with practical effects for sure. So it is pretty wild, and it covers a lot of space. There's like elements of like Dagon, Creatures of the Abyss, which was done later, by the way, and seems like this might have been the inspiration almost. You got Lovecraftian type stuff in here. There's the science angle. You know, there's quite a lot of different things that I can point to here, but I definitely think it's worth a watch. I would give this probably like a 7 out of 10. Like, it's right on the cusp of something that, you know, is an all-time classic, but just missed it by a little bit. This is one of those ones you want to check out that you might have missed. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you check it out. Synapse has put this out. I'll put a MVD Entertainment Group, who does the distribution for them as well, down below so that you can pick up a copy for yourself if you are interested. They also just released Satan's Little Helper, which I just did a video on, so if you haven't checked that out, you might want to check that out as well. But yeah, I'm actually really impressed with this release. I enjoyed a lot of the extras, and seeing this again was really cool because it felt like I was watching a new movie, a gem that I missed back in the day, you know? Have you seen this movie? Did you enjoy this movie? Did you watch it and remember this picture on the shelf when you were a kid? I would love to hear from you in the comment section down below. I really greatly appreciate your guys' support, coming here every video to show support and also find new movies that maybe you've never heard of that you might be able to enjoy or pick up for yourself. I like to cover it all. So if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and also hit the bell notification so you know when I got a new video going up. Been a little sporadic all week long, but I've been putting up a new one at least every other day or so. But thank you guys so much for coming by. Thank you, MVD, for sending this out. Congrats, Synapse, on a great release. And as always, long live the void.